I am on a mission to transform the 406mm telescope at the Rice Creek Field Station Observatory into a state-of-the-art research facility. This is my story. I don't know about that. Previously on Objective 406, the 16-inch Meade could not tell its head from its tail. After thoroughly checking out the problem, turned out to be not the location was correct, not the date and time, these were correct as well. The problem was in the mount information. Even though the hand controller was programmed for equatorial mount, it was still interpreting the park as the Alt-as location. We're starting with the resting position. Here's the Meade generic. Let's see if we can send it home at this point. I had set up the drivers and using tools, and then we click on sending it home. Home in this case is going to be RA0 and deck 90. And it is moving. Let's see how far it makes it towards Polaris. By the way, that dangling cable is for the focuser. We will be using it when we start working on the optics. This is looking good. This is very good. Let's see where Starry Night says the scope is. It should be north. So if we move the map towards the north, we should be able to see it. There it is, be generic, it is at around Polaris. Now let's see if we can send it to closer to the sun. I'm gonna try Jupiter initially. There is Jupiter. Let's see if it'll go there. This is gonna require it to go past south and then all the way to east. It is pointing west right now. That noise suggests we're going to need to have to lubricate the gears sooner rather than later. We just went past south, so we should see the scope moving towards Jupiter. There it is. There is Meade moving towards Jupiter. That jumpiness around is going to be a cause for concern later on. But there it is, smack at Jupiter. Let's see if we can go to the sun next. This is looking good. And go to the sun. For it to settle down. I don't know if it's going to like going to the sun immediately or whether we need to go somewhere else first. Let's try again. It was waiting for the telescope to settle. There it is. There it was. There it is. It is jumping all over the place. So if the telescope mount is communicating back to the computer its location, that location is really all over the place. That's going to be a concern when we start slaving the dome to the scope. Let me try a couple more places before we declare total success on this journey. Let me go to Venus. That should be an easy one. And it found Venus. Okay, so we can declare victory now. We are able to control the scope and GOTO is working properly. I'm going to issue a park command now and see if I can unpark it from the computer or whether I'll have to turn it off and turn it back on. We just issued a park command. When I hit enter, the telescope is going to go to its parked position, which is not too far from where Venus is. And there's the parked position. That was a quick journey. I've lost communication with the scope and I've issued an unpark command and nothing is happening. So it looks like the remote unpark is not an option at this point. We're going to have to turn off the scope and then start all over again. But this has definitely been a successful experiment and we'll have to do some more testing. In an alt-az mount telescope sitting on a table like the 8-inch Meade on which I worked, the park position is altitude 0 degrees and azimuth 0 degrees, which is the same as home, altitude 0 degree and azimuth 0 degree. That's when the scope is pointing due north at the horizon. However, turns out that in an equatorially mounted telescope on a wedge, or in this case on a pier, home is right ascension 0 hour and declination 90 degrees, whereas the park is altitude 0 and azimuth 0, which is a weird position to be in, but it certainly explained what was happening with the Meade 16 mixing up its head for its tail. So my early assumption that the Meade 8 and the Meade 16 will behave similarly fell apart when we went from an alt-az mount to an equatorial mount.